So, talking about the skill level of your team is kind of hard to discuss because, of course, it'll change from rank to rank. From bronze, you might expect a DPS to have 40% hit accuracy. In gold, you might expect a healer to have at least 10k healing. And in masters or grandmasters, you might expect for a tank to be able to open up a lot of space for his teammates. But one thing that you're going to be able to see throughout just about every single rank that you play is people calling their entire teams trash. And honestly, in some cases, I'm going to agree, you guys are correct. There are a lot of cases where you have a teammate that just does something stupid, or throws the game, or doesn't know the position, or just doesn't know this, doesn't know that, or just simply doesn't really seem to care. Today I want to talk about some of the main reasons that I feel like your teammates probably are trashed, and some of the main reasons behind your teammates performing so weirdly in a lot of your games. And with that said, let's get started. So the first reason I want to bring up that I feel like isn't focused on much, I guess, in Overwatch when you're talking about competitive and talking about teammates is the fact that, again, coming back to focus, people usually focus on themselves in the game. And I think that's an important thing to remember when you're playing a game of Overwatch. Your teammates aren't playing that game to help you rank up. Your teammates aren't playing that game to help you improve. Your teammates are almost always playing that game to focus on themselves, to help themselves, to try to improve themselves. And that's going to create a situation where they're probably going to put themselves in some bad situations to see, hey, can I do this? What can I learn from this? And oftentimes that's not really what you want, but that's what they might want. And when you're playing the game, I think a thing you want to keep in mind is that, when do you do this? When do you put yourself in a situation that you don't exactly know how it's going to turn out, but you want to test it out and you want to see how you can improve your own play from learning from that situation? A lot of people just try to do that and focus on themselves. And I guess another thing about focusing on yourself is that a lot of players just want to focus on their own play altogether and get good plays, get cool plays, try to show off that they're good at the game to themselves and to others. And oftentimes that will put them by themselves. That will put them in a situation where if they are good enough, they probably can make a huge outplay. I mean, if they are great enough at Genji, they probably can swing their sword a few times, get a 5-man and win your team the team fight. But in a lot of cases, maybe they aren't quite up to that level yet, and that's where trash teammates are kind of born. I think the number one reason that I guess makes trash teammates is people trying things that they aren't good enough to do yet, or that they don't know if it works or not. And that happens a lot because people are, again, focusing on themselves, and I don't really know a way to fix that. That's just, I guess, another more reason to why a lot of people do a lot of stupid stuff competitive, at least in my own opinion. Now, another thing that I feel like a lot of people complain about that kind of equates to their teammates being trash is team comps. Team comps in Overwatch are obviously an important thing. A game of Overwatch League can be decided by who picks what character in what order, and I think that really applies to everything in Overwatch. If you have the right character at the right time, or if you're at least playing meta picks for the most part and so are most of your teammates, you have a good chance to win that game. But in a lot of games, it seems like your teammates haven't really gotten that through their mind. For some reason, they're just forgetting that they should pick good characters, or forgetting that they should actually try to win that match, and they're just going some random stupid pick that they have no time on. And I guess something I should put right here is that I think you should assume that most of your teammates know what's good meta picks. You should assume that most of your teammates know what they probably should be playing in that situation. And honestly, reminding your teammates of what to go isn't going to change it way too much. I think for a lot of people, they just simply play what they want to play at that current time. They have a lot of hours in the game, they've been trying out a lot of different characters, and if they want to play Hanzo this game, or if they want to play Diva this game, or if they want to play Zenyatta this game, they're probably going to play that. And that sucks because maybe they're a character that wouldn't fit your team comp at all, but you're just going to kind of have to deal with that, honestly. I wish it wasn't something that people did, but honestly, I think for most of us, we can say, yeah, I've gone into a game where I wanted to play Doofus this round, and maybe it didn't fit the team comp, maybe my teammates didn't want it, but I honestly just wanted to play it because I thought it would be fun. I think everyone's at least done that once, and that's a big reason, I think, to why team comps just kind of turn out so dumb. Because, I mean, I think, again, most people kind of know what's going on, and I guess if you really think your teammates never know what are the good characters, type it in chat before the game, but honestly, I don't think that's going to make way too much of a difference in your team comps in your games. Now, to something different that I guess also kind of connects to the previous point of people just kind of playing what they want to play. When you get into a game of Overwatch competitive, you have to remember most players have hundreds of games in Overwatch by now. It's been more than a year. They have a lot of time in this game. And to them, you have to kind of think, what's one loss gonna mean? I mean, if they get into a game and they lose that game, sure, it's gonna hurt them, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, they've experienced a lot of losses, and I feel like this is why a lot of people don't really care about their team comps much anymore, and I guess as well, why people kind of give up a lot more now. In the past, due to the beginning of the game, you didn't have way too many losses, and as well, you really wanted to climb up as fast as you could. You know, as the start of the game, you want to become one of the best, but now that so many people have been at their rank for such a long amount of time, I think you have to remember that it is kind of easy to tilt. It is kind of easy to just simply give up because, I mean, it hasn't worked in the past, so why would it work right now? Now, this doesn't happen every single game, and obviously a lot of games people are still trying their best, and a lot of games people are still enjoying themselves, and some people have hundreds of thousands of hours instead of just games. But you have to remember, to some of your teammates, this is just another game. This is just another loss. And a lot of people just kind of take it at face value and just kind of accept it, and you might not exactly want them to do that. For me, and for probably most of you, you want your teammates to be trying their hardest throughout the entire game, to be going at it, giving their all. And I think in a lot of situations, people are kind of tilted, I guess, either from, you know, just playing so many games that they just kind of give up, or as well, their teammates, like, people just instantly tilt the second a single bad thing is said about them. So if something like that does happen to you, I'd say just start spamming out shot calls in chat. If you can spam up the chats and nobody can hear anything except for your shot calls, that can get rid of a lot of the tilt. Or as well, just start talking about something random that you enjoy. That can help as well. Making shot calls is probably more important though. I think no matter what you can do, as long as you can help somebody get untilted or help somebody actually start to care again, that's an important thing too, I guess, making your team as best as possible. And if you don't want that to be your responsibility, and if you just think, hey, you know what, I'll just take those losses where they come because sometimes that's just going to happen for me and the enemies, then that's completely fine as well. This is not your responsibility. It's just something that you can do if you want to, I guess, make more people happy in the game and try to make the matches a little bit funny for yourself. But again, if you don't really care, I guess just mute everybody and that will be, you know, kind of a solution for yourself. Now, let's completely switch gears and talk about a different problem that I feel like there is definitely in this game, but also just in every single multiplayer game that you can get to, and that's the disconnect between players. I think for a lot of players, they get into a round and they physically and mentally know there are other people on the computer, there are other people making decisions, there are a lot of other people making choices, but they don't really process that, and they don't really get it into their head that all those things are actually happening. And I think for a lot of people, they think of Overwatch as a solo game, solo queue, with just kind of NPC teammates that'll probably make okay decisions, but you know, you got to carry that game for them. This really is your game to win. And they don't really think of it as a cooperative game that you win together. And I think that's a big problem. It's like playing a game like Pandemic, if you ever played that board game, where you're all working together to save the world from a cure, or I guess from diseases with a cure. It's like trying to play that by yourself and not talking to any of your teammates. You all have knowledge you can share, you all have cards you can share, but you just decide to play by yourself. I don't think that's a good thing to go for, and I think for a lot of your teammates, that's kind of what is happening to them. Even just randomly and even just without trying, that's just what happens to a lot of people. And one way that I found that kind of helps people get through this is by, at the beginning of the game, telling people what your strategy is, telling your teammates what your shot call is. And when people actually get it into their head that there's a team captain or a team leader or somebody that's going to at least say some stuff for them to kind of follow, I think they get more into a teamwork mode. They realize that, hey, we're all a team here, there's people making out calls, I'll make out my own calls a little bit as well, or at least kind of listen to them and play this a bit more with my team. Maybe save my ultimate for my team a little bit more instead of just trying to do everything by myself. Honestly, at least the way I look at the game, it seems like a lot of people could use that bit of a reminder. And as well, I guess you also get a nice shot call out at the beginning of the game, so there's a good benefit to that as well. But overall, and in the end, I'm going to say that, yeah, you will get a lot of trash teammates, and sometimes any fixes that you try to throw towards them just won't work. But hopefully I could kind of explain to you guys today why some of them exist. And of course, I guess one final thing is that sometimes you will just randomly get some person that has been carried, that has been boosted, or that simply put, just got lucky in a lot of their games. Maybe they're just not that great at DPS, but they have good tanks, good supports, good other DPS that's carried them just luckily. That does happen sometimes. But just kind of respect that that's probably not the most probable cause, and that in all honesty, there are a lot more deeper things, at least in my own opinion, that could cause your teammates to maybe not be the best, and maybe in a lot of cases be kind of trash. But I mean, there are a few small things you can do about that, and overall today I just want to explain why, at least in my own opinion, some of your teammates are trash in some of your games. But anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like or comment down below what your own personal opinion is. Do you find a lot of trash teammates, or why do you think that your teammates aren't doing that great in a lot of your games? I'd really like to hear that. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed. Sorry I couldn't give you guys way too many tips to fixing your trash teammates. I've done a lot of videos like that in the past. Today I just kind of want to explain the backstory behind them, I guess. Maybe in the future I'll try to explain how to fix them, at least a little bit. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a wonderful day.